Hola, hola. Hello, everyone. I hope that everybody's joining right now. We're going to give a little bit of time to get the people joining us, but we are so excited to start our workshop today. So we'll give you guys some time. Let's say 1 more minute, okay? Thank you so much for joining. We are so excited to host this workshop with Grow with Google and of course Autumn HQ. Let's just give people some time. We're almost ready to start. Let's give it 1 more second so that we can get more people to join and then we can start. But also, I don't want to give a lot of time. Hey, Finesse, how are you? We are going to start in a minute. I want to make sure that we make the best of our times, but I also want to give a little bit of time for people to join. So thank you for joining. Just a friendly reminder. Yes. Perfect. 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 Okay. I think I'm going to start because I really want to make the best of our time. So, to the people who have joined, welcome. I'm so happy to have you all here. And this is a very exciting day for me because it's the first event that marketing and communications at Autumn HQ actually host. My name is Patty Sesma. I am the Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Austin Urban Technology Movement, which most likely you recognize as Autumn HQ. And today we are hosting this workshop with Grow with Google. And the person that's going to be giving us all the information and sharing all her knowledge is Vicky Sepulveda. And I'm sure that you know her. I'm going to give a little bit of her background, then I'm going to bring her to the shot because I do know that everyone knows who Vicky is in Austin. It's very familiar to everyone. So the first thing is Vicky Sepulveda is a Google Digital Business Coach, and she is also a Senior Director of Small Businesses and International Initiatives at the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. She has dedicated herself to helping underrepresented small businesses owners to navigate the online world. And this is the reason why today we're hosting this workshop. We are basically going to learn through Vicky Sepulveda and Grow with Google, who is partners with Autumn HQ. We are going to learn how to position, in this case, your career in a very, very compelling way to improve your online presence and to build a solid network. And you're also going to learn how to answer that very, very common question that comes up in interviews when you are seeking job. This is tell me a little bit about yourself. So without further ado, I'm bringing Vicky to the shot. Hi, Vicky. And please
Hi,
tell me
Patty.
more
How are
about
you?
yourself.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm super excited and excited that we've been able to schedule this with our Grow with Google partner, Autumn HQ. And you're going to be able to actually share more resources with your Autumites, with your audience, because you are a Grow with Google partner, and we love providing you with resources to help you not only grow Autumn HQ, but provide content and training to all of Autumites and to Autumn HQ audience.
That's correct, Vicky. Should we start? Should I bring everything up?
Let's
Okay,
do it.
let's do it.
Awesome. All right. So I'm so excited to be here with everyone. Welcome to Build Your Professional Brand. I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I want to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. We're going to spend some time exploring the concept of professional branding and how it's going to help build your career. You're going to learn how your professional brand and your career story can really help you quickly let potential employers, clients, and as well collaborators know how you are and who you are, excuse me, and what you can bring to the table. So we're going to take some simple steps to get you started. We're going to have a couple of exercises in this workshop. So you may want to grab a pen and pad, or you can get a document like Google Doc open. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce Patty Sesma, VP of Marketing and Communications, just to say a few words before we intro.
Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate that. Love it that we introduce each other. That's empowerment, women in tech. Love it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of what Autumn HQ does, which I'm pretty sure many people is familiar with. But basically, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that works for the community, and our main mission is to bridge the gap that exists between the Black and Hispanic communities and the tech industry. We provide every resource that individuals and families from these communities need or may need in order to enter the tech industry and thrive in the tech industry. So if you are a member of this or the global majority and you're very interested in starting to explore a career in tech, please do not hesitate to contact us. We are going to throw a link right now in the chat so that you guys can click on it, access it, and contact us directly once you are able to apply online or fill out the form that we need to get to know you. We are going to get to contact you in a timely manner, and we're going to start all the journey in order to make you make your dreams come true, to pursue your career in tech and make it happen. So in a nutshell, Vicky, that's exactly what Autumn HQ is, and thank you for the time.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here with you. I can't wait to introduce I call her my Google bestie. She's my Google bestie. She is behind the scenes today with us. Soleil is an author, a speaker, a mentor, and a graphic designer. She is the CEO of Soleil Branding Essentials, and she is also a Grow with Google digital coach for Pittsburgh. So excited that she's behind the scenes, and grateful that she's with us today. I'm just going to do a quick introduction of myself. My name is Vicky Sepulveda. I am the West Texas Grow with Google digital coach. I just had my 5-year anniversary. I'm so excited that for 5 years, I've been empowering our Black and brown businesses in the West Texas. So I'm also a small business owner, just like yourself. I am the CEO of Crossing Bridges Consulting, a marketing digital agency. So we're going to get started. Hopefully you've got your pad of paper and pen, and if not, your Google Doc. And so today we're going to talk about what is a brand. What does professional brand actually mean for your career? Because guess what? It's never too early or too late to actually start building your own brand. We're going to cover what professional branding is and how companies use their brands to build trust with their customers and clients. Then we're going to go over building your own personal professional brand and how it is going to help you grow your career, no matter what type of work you're currently doing. So after that, we're going to talk about 3 steps that you can take to build your professional brand, defining your brand, building your online presence, and really important, growing your network. So we're going to spend the next 45 minutes, and let's get started. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to think of a company that you like right now. Maybe it's a restaurant or a clothing brand, or in particular, a product that you enjoy. And one of the things I will say is that I want you to think about as we're going through this exercise. When you think about this company, I want you to understand what images come to mind and what feelings do you associate with this company. I want you to understand who is their ideal customer, that client, that target audience. Who are they selling their products and services to? Also, how does their advertising make you feel about using their product or service? And lastly, how do they maintain that consistency in their advertising And are you able to actually look at one of their ads or something on social and know it's from that company? So we're going to go ahead. I want you to start thinking of that company. If you want to, you can drop those in the comments or ask a question. But we're going to go ahead, and I want you to actually think about how companies build brands, okay? So a lot of companies, they're going to hire marketing professionals to help them build their brands. And in fact, a company's logo, their advertising language, and even the colors and fonts they use in advertising, this is all part of branding. But a brand isn't just built by deliberate choices. It's actually built over time. And this is the result of the experiences that they're having, right? These are how people are interacting with their product and services, and even what they hear about the company or organization. So I'm going to ask you to reveal who you feel like one of your brands that stands out. So remember, right now, you're not a person. You're a person, not a company, excuse me. So I want this branding that we're going to be talking about. Okay. You're going to be thinking, so why is this? How does this go with my career? Because just as companies' brands communicate their qualities and offerings, you want to build a brand that's going to market yourself as you're growing your career. Okay. Your brand, your professional brand is made up of unique combination of your career story. It actually goes along with your qualities, your skills, your experiences, and it's a way of letting potential employers, even education institutions, your colleagues, clients, even mentors really get a sense of who you are and what you have to offer. So a couple of slides back, I asked you about a specific company, and I asked you several questions on how you perceive their brand. And I want you to think about what the images and feelings that you associate with that brand. But think about what people associate with you and your work. What qualities do you want your potential employers, clients, collaborators to know that you possess, okay? And who is your ideal employer, client, or customer? So while you won't necessarily have paid for advertisement or shopping bags with your logo on them, you'll have a resume, and you have social media accounts, which should also reflect your professional brand as you're meeting people in your field and as you're building your network. So that strong professional brand will help you leave a very great lasting expression. Now, strong branding is helpful for everyone in the job market, but it's more crucial when you're starting your own business or launching that freelance career. So what I would like you to do, right, is now you're getting a bit of a sense of professional branding, and it's important, right? So I want you to try applying these same questions to a person in the public eye. Think of a public figure that you admire, it could be that performer or an activist, a political figure, or anyone in the public eye. So take a few minutes to think about that, okay? I want you to think about, what are the feelings that you associate with them? What images? And what are those qualities that they possess? What do you think their ideal customer, client, or target audience is? And what sets them apart from the people in that same industry or on a similar career path? So how do they maintain brand consistency in their marketing or projects or appearances? So now I'm going to give you a couple of ideas to get you started in case you're kind of wondering, who do I admire? Well, I always think of the Obamas. I love the Obamas. Just their whole family unit and the way they portray themselves. They make you feel good. Locally, I'm a big fan of Kendra Scott. She is a small business entrepreneur that started out with $500. $500. Not only has she created such a great brand, but she gives back to the community. So I just want to see if anybody has any questions, in the comments. But I would like for you to start thinking about who you admire. Okay, so just like your favorite company, this has been integrating everything into what they do. everything that they do. When you think, we're going back to like the Obamas, we can think about Kendra Scott, their advertising, their social media, their in-person experiences, even their fonts and logos. And you should think about doing the same thing with your professional brand. From your resume to your social media posts to your networking conversations, every interaction you have is an opportunity to let people know what you have to offer. That is what your brand is all about. It explains your background, your skills, what your passions are, what are your interests, and what sets you apart from others in the job market. It lets people know why they should want to work with you. So now we're going to go into the different steps to building your brand. So the first step is defining that. Okay. I'm going to lead you through some exercises that are going to help you get a better understanding about your professional brand. And we're going to work on creating a brand statement. So I hope you've got that pad of paper and pen, or not your Google Doc. In the second and third steps, yay, Patty, you're going to learn about actions that you could start taking immediately after this workshop when you're starting to build that brand. So let's go. Here we go. The first step is communicating your brand and to figure out what is your brand statement. Okay. This is a statement. It can be 1 or 2 sentences, which is quickly going to let someone get to know you and your work. It tells them your career educational history, and it lets them know where your career is heading, right? So you're going to use this brand statement to communicate key information about you to potential customers or clients or collaborators. And you could actually include this on your resume, right? In your professional working emails or during in-person conversations. So in your email, you could actually add a quote after your signature name that defines and gives people a sense of your branding. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get started, right? Because a significant part of your brand statement is going to be telling that career story, your career story. This is going to help people understand who you are, where you're coming from, and exactly what you have to offer. Guess what? Like all good stories, we're going to start at the beginning. Okay. And this is where we're going to start building this story for you. So I got a question for you guys. Have you ever noticed that movies about a superhero or that super villain, right? The audience always learns the hero's original story, right? It's because they want you to understand why they behave the way they do. Okay. So your career story serves a similar purpose. Your life work, your experience have made you the person that you are and contribute to the way you're going to approach your career. Now, you can start your career story by talking about the experience that made you want to go into that particular career, because you know what? I've had several different careers. Not going to go into all of them, but I always say I'm a little jack of all trades because I've learned a lot of great things throughout my career. So this is an example. If you're a parent, if you're a parent of a special needs child and went into teaching as a result of that experience, you're probably going to have a very specific point of view about your work in your classroom. Another point is if you're a college student who has a deeply involved in environmental activism, you're definitely going to bring that unique perspective to a job in city planning. Your career story may also include time away from work. Now, a lot of people, we've experienced breaks in employment, right? Some have taken time off to raise children, care for a family member, or for any number of different personal reasons. And others have had longer breaks in employment just because of a layoff during an economic downturn. Don't let a break in your employment, all right, stop you from applying for the jobs that you want. This is also part of your career story. Just be prepared to discuss that break in employment with that recruiter or hiring manager. And if you spent your time away from work, like say for like volunteering, taking classes, or gaining other valuable skills, have that information ready for your interview. All right, so now we've talked about your past, so let's talk about your future. Sharing your professional goal is going to help people know where you're headed and may help them decide if they want to work with you. So the parent who's gone into teaching, who mentioned, we talked about her in the last slide, or him, may have a goal of helping other educators meet the needs of all of their students. I want you to keep in mind that your professional goal is going to change over time, right? People often make decisions to make changes in their careers, and we do it often. And I include myself in that, right? Because your career goals change along with your jobs if you change. So, and that's okay. In the next slide, we're going to write your goals so that you understand them. Now, I'm going to quickly, actually, before we head into that, I'm going to give you quickly what I've done. 10 years with Estee Lauder, actually a marketing executive in Mexico City for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. Then I went into banking. Then I went into merchant services and managed like 165 banks on the West Coast, or contracts. So contract, I was actually reviewing their merchant services contract. And they were all community banks. Then I started my own company, an organic dog treat business that was way ahead of its time. Then I went to go work for the Hispanic Chamber, a nonprofit locally here in Austin. And let me tell you something. If you go to work for a nonprofit, you are going to learn so many things, because nonprofits wear a lot of different hats, right, Patty? And if you don't know how to do it, you're going to learn how to do it. And now I'm a Grow with Google digital coach for West Texas. So your career can definitely span in a lot of different ways. So I want you to always think about that flexibility and opportunities that come. And I just always took a leap of faith and did them. So I want you to take a minute, okay, to combine your original story and professional goal, okay? I want you to remember so you can come back and write more later. So that's what your Google Doc is for, or your pen and pad. So don't worry if you don't have a lot of experience in your field. I mean, I just told you, I mean, I've been around for a while. So I've told you a lot about my different jobs that I've had. So if you're new, right, if you're a new graduate, or you've decided to shift careers, you can still talk about what is motivating you to seek this new path and your ultimate goal, right? Actually, once you are launching your career, if you're going to be you're actually launching. So here's a few questions that I want you to get started. What are the events that led you to become interested in that type of work? Okay. I'll just talk about Estee Lauder. I worked there part-time at the counter during when I was at University of Houston. And then I moved to Florida, and I happened to be in a mall, and they were like, I mentioned that I had worked, and then I got hired again. And I came back to Texas, and that's when I really started that career. And they offered me the marketing executive job in Mexico City. So I'm telling you this because I don't want you to feel like you are stuck somewhere, right? Because if you could accomplish anything in your career, what is it going to be? What events led you to become interested in that type of work, as I mentioned before? And that is just that I was doing it part-time. So if you'd accomplish anything in career, think about this. What would you like it to be? What is one important problem or an issue that you would like to improve or address in your lifetime? So what is that first big step, okay, that you'd like to take towards your dream career? So I want y'all to think about that. And don't see any questions, but if you have a question, I can actually see it. So I encourage you to do that. But in the meantime, okay, to complete your brand statement, you're going to need a couple more details that describe the way you do things. So the first thing would be making a list of the things that you want in a potential employer, right? Or in a school, or coworkers to know about you. These can be qualities that you possess, just like this, being honest and hardworking, okay? Or maybe there's specific skills that you have or activities you're involved in, especially in the community, right? Maybe you're like organizing, you like volunteer work, you love athletics or activism. Now, if you're getting stuck, I want you to think about the words other people use to describe you. Maybe they really love your sense of humor, right? Or they're just thinking, I am so jealous of your organization skills. Do they seek you out when they need to work through tough issues with you? So after you've made this list, I want you to circle and highlight the 3 top qualities, okay? The skills or talents that you'd like to share with your potential employer. Maybe it's a collaborator you want to share with. So I want you to choose one that the most influence the way you approach your career. So these qualities and skills and talents, they're combined with your career story. And also, this is going to be the basis of your professional brand. So just take a minute to write those down. And again, if you've got questions, I'm ready to answer them, even the hard ones. So now we've talked about all of these, skills that we're talking about for you. I want you to write down 2 sentences that's going to combine them to tell your career story. Your career statement should give people that sense of who you are, where you're coming from, and what special thing you really have to offer. Now, I'm going to give you a couple examples just to kind of get you going. This is not me, so these are already pre-populated for me. I'm a trained improv comic who uses humor to get young people excited about STEM fields. Another one is, I'm a journalist who brings attention to important social issues in my community. I'm a recent graduate looking to bring my attention to detail to an administrative job in the finance industry. I really love this one because it's specific. It's okay, I'm a recent graduate. And I want my attention to detail to an administrative job. And then she's specific, or he's specific, in the finance industry. Or I'm a former short order cook opening my own food truck to make delicious, healthy food available to people in my community. And I love this last one too, because it's different, right? They had a job and now they're inspired, but he's at a networking, he could be, or she could be at a networking event promoting this food truck, right? In a setting. And this is his quick branding story, right? Or his brand statement. So one of the things that I talked about before is the aspects of your career story really should integrate into materials you use to market yourself professionally. And I've talked about those examples. So I'm going to use the food truck gentleman or woman. The food truck owner's social media posts should really reflect their commitments to the healthy food industry that they want to make available in their community. Their website may contain some info about the time they spent as a short order cook, share about what they've learned in that job, and also discuss how they'll apply it in their new food truck business. Also, they may want to, start a blog that discusses how they address the food access issues in their community. You can share your career story with others and even add it to your resume and profiles in professional networking sites or other social media. And I'm going to give you some tips a little bit in a few minutes so that you can remember, right, that you can always come back and rework your branding statement even after this workshop. So now we're going to talk about how your career story is the first step towards building your professional brand. And as you're starting to communicate your brand, you can do it in your website, your blog, and social media presence. And also the biggest opportunity is in in-person conversations, right? Because you want to find opportunities to incorporate your career story and tell people about it. The more you tell people about your career, even friends and family, you never know when they're going to come across someone that's hiring a position and they think of you, they're like, I have the perfect candidate for you. Just keep in mind, you're going to have to continuously refine your career story over time. You want to always review it before interviews, networking events, or before you post online about your career business. So here's the famous words. So tell me about yourself. You probably have heard that before. You're going to hear it at job interviews. You're going to hear it at networking events and also in any other professional context. And it can really feel like a huge, large, super general question. And you may think, how am I going to answer this? But if someone asks you to talk about yourself in an interview, you can share your career story along with any of your skills, right? Your qualities, your interests, your talents that apply to that role or that potential collaboration that you are actually interviewing with. So, guess what? Congratulations, you've got your career story, you've got your list of top 5 qualities, skills, and accomplishments, or your activities that give enough information so that you can start building your brand. Okay, they're going to tell you how you should speak and write about yourself as a potential employee. Now, think of the ways you can use your career story and those 5 qualities to market yourself as a potential employee or a collaborator, right? Think of ways that you can incorporate that brand into your marketing materials. This is going to include resume, cover letters, business cards, your website, your in-person conversations, your blog, and your social media posts, because people are going to Google you. once they're going to Google you, I always check. I Google myself at least once a week. I need to see what's on there, right? I want to make sure that information is accurate. So now you've got your career story and a list of skills and qualities and talents. Now we're going to talk about how you can start communicating that brand online. And let's just talk about how this powerful tool for communicating your brand, guess what it is? The internet. Google, the number 1 search engine. The number 2 is YouTube. So maybe you're a creative. Just make sure you've got that YouTube channel, right? Maybe you like to do blogging, but you do video blogging, and that's something that your potential employer that you want to be able to go into. So, in other words, your online presence should be the extension of the impression you make when you meet someone in person. Your career story is that you're a former line cook who is opening up a food truck, and your 3 words are hardworking, determined, and community-minded. So people are going to get that impression of you when they read your posts on social media and when you come in for an in-person interview. That's an example. Now we're going to talk about your brand online, which you probably already do, because a lot of us, there's a couple of, I think there's only one place I'm not on. That's TikTok. But I've been told I need to get on there. But I just haven't taken, I have a whole folder on my phone with social media. So no matter which social media platform you use, it's really important to understand that everything you put online is going to affect how people view you and will impact your professional brand. So no matter what your brand is, make sure that your tone on social media is always professional and positive. Okay, whether your post is open to the general public or it's a private account, it's still a reflection of your personal and professional brand. So now we've talked about some specific actions that you can take to build your career network. It's important that I want you to remember that this step is going to take time. Your network is going to grow naturally as you spend more time pursuing your career and other interests. So if you follow the steps that we've been discussing, you're going to be able to build more relationships a lot quicker. Now, building a following for your business or professional work on social media can really seem overwhelming at first, right? And the thing is, you've got to post, because if not, your followers are following you because they like your content. And sometimes I'll go a whole week and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't put anything up. I need to do it. And I'll go to my social media and I've lost 2 followers or 1 follower. So it's important. Okay. Now, before I was saying, I think I'm only on not one place, right? You don't have to be everywhere at once. Pick 1 or 2 platforms to start with, but contribute to them regularly. Okay. Now, how are you going to choose the right platforms? Consider 2 things: the brand you plan to cultivate and the audience that you're trying to reach. Then you can decide which platform is going to work best for you, that's going to meet both of those goals. So let's talk a little bit about professional networking sites. Okay. The big one I can think of is LinkedIn for professionals, right? There is another one, right? There's another one called Handshake. I didn't even know about it before I started doing this workshop. So it's for college students. Professional networking sites are going to allow you to interact with other users, as well as companies that are looking to hire. So creating this profile on a site like this can be a great platform for your professional brand. And you can build your profile on a professional networking site very easy. Here's the thing. Write this down or take a screenshot. Showcase accomplishments in your field at school. Okay, what did you do at school? So if I go back to high school and college, I was the planner. I was always the planner of things. I was actually on the drill team, and I was in the social. So I was always the one that was planning events for the lariats, we were called in high school. I also was a volunteer way back then, still then a volunteer. So that's also important. Now, here's a little bit more that you can do. Whatever industry you're in or your passion is, you can post articles about that. And also you can engage in discussions with other people in your field. So you could actually go into social media, I'm just going to bring this up, IG, Instagram. You could look for people and start following them. And you can do the same thing now in LinkedIn. And this is actually going to help continuously expanding your network. So let's talk about photo and video sharing sites. I'm talking about Instagram. I just said TikTok. I'm not on it. People keep telling me you got to do it. Allow you to post and share photos and videos with friends or the general public. So photo and video sharing sites can be used to build your professional brand, especially if you're working in a field where your work can be presented visually. An example is this, okay? Let's say you have a landscaping business, and you may want to create a profile where you can showcase recent photos of your work. Another example would be, how could your profile benefit? Could be like hairstylists, house painters, performers, artists, and designers, a lot of different designers of all types. If you own a retail business, you can showcase your store's merchandise. But let's say maybe you're a digital marketing strategist like I am, then I would post more about that, right? I would post about, utilizing tools to make sure your business is being found online. And I would share about that on my social media, which I think I already do, but I'm just trying to give you an example there. Also, micro-blogging sites like Twitter are going to allow you to share your thoughts in just a quick sentence or two, but that might be quickly changing. We don't know. These sites can be a good way for writers and other language-based content creators to communicate with a wide audience. I've had my Twitter account since I started blogging way back when, and really I hadn't started using it until just several years ago again. And I actually like to use it. I like to look at it if I ever want to reach out to I'm going to use a big box name, like a Target or maybe the Cat Metro people here locally. For some reason, it's for me, it's easy to have a conversation on Twitter like that. So again, I always feel like Twitter made a comeback for me when I started doing the digital coaches program 5 years ago. So let's go back to social networking sites that are going to allow you to stay in touch with all the people you know, but also meet new people, right? Some social sites allow you to set up a profile for a business. I think, I believe Instagram, Facebook, I do believe LinkedIn. I mean, I use Twitter for that. So if you are going to be using that way, you want to make sure that your postings are strictly about your business, okay? Want to keep that personal site personal. So making and sharing content is a great way to help people learn about what you do, right? In almost any career, you can use content to build your brand. An example is a teacher might write a blog, okay? about interesting assignments that they've given students, or an HR professional may write articles about updates to employment laws on different professional networking sites. A hairstylist is going to post, guess what? Before and after photos of happy clients. This is important. And that's probably going to be on Instagram, right? Because we post a lot more photos there. A real estate agent might post a list of quick tips to quickly sell your home on social medias. However, you don't have to create your own original content. You can promote the work of people you admire by sharing their posts, their articles. Sharing brand content made by other people can be just as powerful as creating your own. And just remember, you've got to give credit to the creators for their work. This is very, very important. You don't want to just post it and you want to make sure that you're acknowledging the person that created that. Now, here's one thing I want you to remember, that most of your content can be cross promoting if you're doing it. Just make the most of it. So when you post something new on one platform, you can post it on your other platforms as well. An example is that article that you wrote online. You can actually post the link to your social media accounts, which is really, really important. Now, this workshop, I want to talk about that something. I love this part of the workshop. So you've been building your presence online. It's also really important really to think about the parts of your life you don't want to share with the world. And this is where privacy comes in. So in the next couple of slides, we're going to talk about a few ways you can protect your brand and yourself by taking steps to ensure your privacy. Because when you apply for a new job, guess what? I already said that. This says a very high probability. No, your potential employer is going to search the internet for your name. So at some point during the interview and hiring process, right, this is important. You want to make sure that if they check something, they're going to know that you're a good fit for their company. And they want to know what you've been participating in, what online activities, right? Hopefully there's nothing that's going to embarrass or cause problems for them later on. So in the next exercise, which is optional, I want to give you a chance to see how your information can actually be available on the internet. I always say Google because it's the #1 search engine, but it can be anywhere, right? We know there's Safari, I think, is still out there, and Bing. So if you want to be able to post things on social media that might not align with your professional brand, set your professional social media accounts to private. There's different ways that you can do that. So one of the things is we've talked about how to use social media to build your professional brand. But there's no reason you can't also have accounts where you can be casual and share information about all the topics that you want, connect with the people you care about, and express your opinions more freely. And it's just as important to remember that when potential employees or colleagues are searching for you, they will see all accounts that aren't set to private. So if you want to be able to safely share photos of your family, funny cat memes, or anything else that you feel really isn't fitting with your brand, or maybe it reveals a little too much about your personal life, setting those accounts is a very smart move. Your personal social media account may not always present a problem when you're looking for a job. Like an example would be your career is in a field like social media or marketing or having a big social media presence, and actually following may actually work to your advantage. I want you to keep in mind, though, that putting information or opinions that are a little too personal in nature could actually, might people think that they're controversial, right? So make sure your social media accounts they actually could keep you, okay? They could keep you from being hired or even put in your current job. You're in jeopardy. One of the settings that I have on my Facebook is anybody that tags me in a post, I have to approve. I did that specifically because someone posted a picture of me that I was like, oh no, it wasn't anything bad. I just didn't like it. It wasn't like I was, partying or anything like that. I was like, oh no, that is not a good picture of me. So just keep in mind, because like for me, it's super important, right? It's important for me to, when people go through, and listen, we all do a little bit of social media stalking. So now we're going to continue to talk about ways that you can manage your privacy, which is really, really important. So this is an exercise that I want everybody to do. Okay. I want you to go and this is going to help you really find out what potential employers or any collaborators or educators might see when they search for you online, right? So it's going to give you a chance and it's in line, right, with your professional brand that you're building. So before we get started, you're going to want to do this internet search of yourself. First, you want to wait until you're in a private location, right? Because you don't want people to, be around you, maybe looking at your phone or whatever. So make sure you have the privacy or a privacy screen. So you're going to go to your browser and open a window in incognito mode. Okay. Then you're going to, and you can do that by going to the three little dots in Google, the three little dots, and you can click incognito mode. So then when you go there, you're going to want to go to that new window, that incognito window, and this allows you to search the web without any prior search and browser history. This will affect the results. Okay. So in other words, searching in incognito mode makes each result more likely to look like the results of someone that's never searched for you online. Okay, so here you go. You're going to go to the incognito window and go to the search engine of your choice. Go to Google. And that way, you're going to get a true search. So no matter what you find, doing this internet search is going to allow you to be prepared in case that potential employer, client, or collaborator is going to be asking about this search of you. So you may find results for other people that have the same name as your name, or maybe a similar website, or your own website, or actual news articles that feature you. So you might not find much at all, though, right? That's okay. You may find something positive, like a great review of your business or coverage of a volunteer project you worked on. This is really important, right? Because considering sharing that on social media, right? So if you found a great review or a great project you did, put that out there and put it on your website if you have one. You might also have some results that are just don't feel on brand for you. Maybe they're a little embarrassing. If this happens to yourself, ask yourself this question. Is this something I have control over, right? If your search results bring up something that you'd rather people not see, one of the things that you want to try to do is delete it. If it's from a social media account, you can log into that account and change the settings to private. And if the content is included on someone else's website or their social media page, you can ask them to remove it. Before I added the reviews, I actually had to ask some people to review some I didn't like the post that where I was maybe a part of a group, so just keep those things in mind. Now, the next thing is I want you to take a quick look is this, okay? Take a quick look at this. The Google Privacy Checkup allows you to go through the settings in your Google account, okay? So what you're going to want to do first is go to myaccount.google.com/privacy checkup. Google will suggest different privacy settings for you to take a look at. Your privacy checkup will be based on how you use your Google account. And so this is really important because it recommends the privacy recommendations may look a little bit different than the ones that we're taking a look at right here. So you want to scroll down to the key privacy settings, and you can decide which ones you want to review. Actually, you may want to review all of them. So here's a couple of privacy settings that you may want to take a look at. You want to make sure you want to manage what you share on YouTube. So in this tab, you're going to choose who can see your YouTube videos, playlists, subscriptions, and you decide what you want to share. If you've been posting YouTube content that fits with your professional brand and you want to see that content, make sure that you check that box. So if you've been watching videos and compiling playlists that don't have anything to do with your brand, right? You may want to change that. Then you can go into your YouTube activity feed. You can choose to automatically have your public YouTube activity show up in your channel's activity in your feed, or you can choose to keep it private. You also, the next thing we want to take a look at is at your Google photo settings. Choose whether you want to remove, this is important, geolocation from your photos when you share them by a link. And the last thing that you want to take a look at is take control over what others see about you. So you want to make sure you haven't been sharing private information like your home address, your phone number, which is a big one. There's some scams going out there. Actually, thinking about this, I got a WhatsApp message literally an hour before this workshop. And it said, "Are you Chica About Town on Instagram?" And they were from Brazil because they were typing it in Brazil. I don't know Portuguese, but I could basically understand. And he was trying to sell me something. And I thought, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to remove my phone number. No way, Jose, right? I make it easy because I am doing digital marketing, and I feel like, oh, if there's a client opportunity, then I want to make sure that they have access. But of course, I deleted the chat and I deleted that person. This is a great something for us to think about, right? So,
Vicky, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is so valuable what you're sharing with us. And I really want to we're 10 minutes away from 5 p.m. And I really want to give people the chance to ask questions if they have any QA. We can keep just commenting and sharing the information, but just making sure that if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to write those on the comments so that we can respond to those during this workshop. Is that good?
Yep. That's perfect. I'll run through these slides real quickly.
Okay.
So we've learned some steps that you can take to grow your brand, identifying the right platform. You're going to be building a strong online presence for your professional brand. And this does not happen overnight. So make steady progress, make smart choices, and also make sure you're doing consistent monitoring. This is all important. Now that you've defined your brand and now that you've learned how to spread the word online, the next step is let's tell as many people as possible. So I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Who should I meet in order to continue growing my brand and career? And what kinds of people should I know that can help me and the work that I'm doing? Because the more you know, the more chances you'll have to find opportunities. So once you've identified the kinds of people you want to meet, you want to take steps to start meeting them. And guess what? It's called networking. And this means it's a form of forming a community with shared intention of building each other's careers. Okay. So we were at our homes for 2 years, and now we're out and about and we're networking. So you may be wanting to go to some events that are part of your either career or your business for networking. And again, we're still participating virtually, just like in this scenario right now. Mentors will play a special role in your career development, right? And they're usually someone who is more experienced than you and is ready to share knowledge with you to help you grow. How are you going to meet them? Most of the time in educational settings, and maybe in classes, maybe in actual networking events that are business oriented. And you may consider that you could find a mentor in your current job. Now, an advocate, like a mentor, is likely someone that can help you along in your career path. So unlike a mentor who is there to help impart knowledge for you, an advocate will take concrete actions that are going to help your career progress. So companies have advisory groups called board of directors. I always say this is a great way to get to know a group of experts in different industries. So as you build your own career and your brand, you may also benefit from creating your own board of directors, right? That's going to be a group of people that can help you and steer your decision making. Now, I also am going to talk about a little bit of different organizations like Hispanic Austin Leadership at the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber. There is a couple of other organizations that also do programs like that, leadership programs, Leadership Austin. That's what I was thinking of. So now we've taken the steps. You've taken the steps, the first steps towards building your professional brand. We talked about how companies use branding. You've defined your career story and you figured out how to respond when someone says, tell me about yourself, right? And we talked about ways to build your online presence. We talked about privacy and we talked about mentors and advocates. So next, we're going to talk about how this workshop is just the beginning. I want you to know, and I want you to think about incorporating your brand into your professional profile, your portfolio, your professional marketing materials, your resume, your social media profiles. You want to start building your brand online. You want to search for yourself online, and you want to build that network of mentors, advocates, and the people that you can appoint to your board of directors, right? These are the people that are going to help you, their family and friends. So guess what? It's time for resources. If you want to sharpen your business skills, check out Primer. What I love about Primer, it was created by two women at Google, and I got to see them launch that at the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in Miami several years ago, and I love this. The next, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can use Google, right, to understand and get applied free digital skills at G.co, applied digital skills. So this is another great way to get some free training. All right, free training. The next one is G.co/grow on air. And this is, again, on YouTube. You may see a video of me. I'm talking about how to create your resume in Google Sheets. So, and you can take these courses. Guess what? I love to say free 99. Visit G.co/grow. And also, Google certificates, which you can always contact Patty at Autumn HQ because they are promoting these. And that's grow.google/certificates. There's a new one dropping soon. And I'd like to thank you. If you want to take
I'd just like to add that all those courses are actually part of our programs at Autumn HQ. So we're going to drop a link so that people can actually contact us, because more than just taking the course, we actually provide a lot of other important resources in case they need internet or devices, or we even pay like stipends for them to be able to carry these courses to get the credentials. We help with job placement. We, of course, provide mentorship. We have orientation, everything they need. Like for us, it's a whole program. And yes, these are free courses, but when they contact Autumn HQ, it's easier for them to just be able to carry those and take them to completion, because we walk this journey with them.
I love that so much. And I always think that that's such a great opportunity for people to take, right? I mean, my daddy used to go spend his weekends going to classes. He said, never stop learning.
I agree. I totally agree. That's what I usually tell people when I give when I'm invited to give just some talks. I usually close with saying, put yourself a goal of at least completing one new course every year, at least. So yes, that keeps us relevant. You're so right, Vicky.
Well, this ends our presentation.
Well, it was an amazing piece of information. I enjoyed every part of it. I was hoping to get more questions, but we did not, which means that your information was crystal clear. I love that. And it was very entertaining, Vicky. I really, really appreciate it. Everyone who was watching, I'm pretty sure they're going to get a lot of good ideas on how to better promote themselves. In this case, with automites, for example, people who are actually seeking employment, I'm pretty sure that this is going to enrich their interview experience and just the way they talk about themselves. So thank you so much for sharing all this information. Really, we are very proud to be partners with Grow with Google. And of course, having you presenting this workshop, we really hope that we have other workshops coming up soon.
Thank you so much, Patty. I love all the work that Autumn HQ is doing. Congratulations on your role. I see Lisa. Lisa said, oops, I put my screen down.
Silguero, Lisa
Silguero.
Silguero,
Oh,
Lina
I'm going to take
Galera.
little screenshots of these. I love that. I love that. Lena, thanks so much for joining. Big shout out. Hope Wanderer. Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, thank you everyone who was part of this. Oops, sorry about that.
No, it's
Thank
okay.
you everyone who was part of this workshop. And yes, keep
Gina. Sorry, I got excited. It's because I know her. She's come to some of my workshops before.
you guys need to keep yourself with Autumn HQ events. Please keep yourselves updated to with our Autumn HQ events. You can follow us on social media. Please do so. We have been sharing the links to our social accounts, but also please subscribe to our newsletter and just we'll keep you posted in every way possible so that you can join us for future events. Vicky, thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
and for all this information once again. Appreciate it very, very much.
Take care. We'll talk soon.
Thank you guys, and thank you Soleil and Mia White. Soleil, you were
Yes.
great. Thank you, and
Thank you,
I'm gonna bring you
Soleil.
guys to the shot so that you can meet the whole team that was behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, let me get a screenshot of that. So Leia was behind the scenes. Thank you so much. She's my Google bestie, and I
Mia White.
appreciate her so much, so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Teamwork.
guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Great job, ladies.
Bravo.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Mia. Thanks, Patty.
Thank you.
Soleil.